And I'm gonna delete it first. Ya Allah.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم وما بعد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وإن تطع أكثر من في الأرض يضلوك عن سبيل الله إن يتبعون إلا الظن وإن هم إلا يخرصون. صدق الله العظيم. We find ourselves yet again 13 days have already passed since the new year began. And time is just passing us by without even ourselves giving a moment to ponder over that. So it just makes sense for us to remind ourselves with sacred text. Sacred text from the Quran and Sunnah. We're always busy reading text messages on our phone, and our gadgets and computers, email. That's a form of text message, but also we have sacred text. So let us give ourselves that opportunity to ponder, remind ourselves using the sacred text of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and of our beloved Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. One of those sacred texts is a hadith that we've already heard, but it is truly beneficial for all of us to hear it again and again and again. Valuing 5 things before 5. Value 5 before 5. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, value your shababaka qabla haramik, wa sihatuka qabla saqamik, wa ghinaka qabla faqrik, wa faragaka qabla shughlik, وَحَيَاتَكَ قَبْلَ مَوْتِكَ. Again, we've heard this repeatedly. It is beneficial for us to hear it again. That let us all value our youth before reaching old age. Let us value our health before sickness. Let us value affluence before poverty. This number 3 probably strikes a chord with everyone. Around the world, in a time of inflation, people are always talking about inflation, the cost of everyday staples such as milk, bread, eggs. Your dollar today is not the same dollar value as a year ago. And the simple thing that we tend to look at, we always hear about is the Federal Reserve having FOMC meetings, CPI data coming out. All of these things are fancy and all, but here we find it in a very simple form, and that is the saying of our Prophet ﷺ, value your affluence before poverty strikes. The 4th one was, value your free time before becoming engaged in busy schedule. All of us can attest to this, right? All of us have a very busy schedule right now. Jumu'ah. Many of us probably rushed here on our lunch break from work. We're busy. And then from here, what do we have to do? We have to exit the parking lot in a timely manner. Alhamdulillah, the masjid management has kept a law enforcement officer at the exit so we can have a timely exit. So value free time before becoming busy with life. And finally, the 5th one is value your life before experiencing death. So what is the benefit of this? Especially mentioning it at the beginning of the year. We can try and recalibrate our life goals. What are we trying to get? If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows us to live throughout the entire year of 2023, alhamdulillah, He has allowed us for life up to this point. But to recalibrate, re-strategize, it's only Islamic to plan. We use these as that recalibrating tools, sacred text, Quran and Sunnah. Otherwise, we're just busy with other people's problems. Our attention is drawn to other people's problems, the problems of politicians, the problems of celebrities, the problems of social media influencers. We're too engrossed in their problems, we forget about our own. That is why the verse that we began today with was, وَإِن تُطِعْ أَكْثَرَ مَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ يُضِلُّوكَ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. If we begin to follow the majority, and that is what nowadays there's this concept known as meme. The younger generation will know what's a meme. It's a portrait or a message, and then there's a text under that picture, and it gives a meaning behind it. People understand what a meme is. So if we were to imagine the current situation of the entire world, we can draw a picture in our mind, a meme. We can draw a meme in our mind, and that is a bunch of sheep, a herd, a flock of sheep just headed towards the slaughterhouse. Unless we divert our attention away from that majority, redirect our attention away from the majority, and allow for good advice to engage us, keep ourselves busy. If we stop following social media and the everyday news, what's going on a local level, global level, we can all confirm to ourselves that we probably will eliminate 50 to 75% of our own personal anxieties and distress and the causes of depression. If we stop just following other people's problems, we can probably do away and eliminate most of our worries. So where do we redirect that attention towards? There's a very beautiful saying, again, we go back to the hadith of our Prophet ﷺ, that if we were to ever follow anyone, and that is what everybody is doing nowadays, following someone on social media. If we were to follow anyone, then we should follow the customs, the traditions, and the practices of the generation that have already experienced death. Why? The hadith mentions that man kana mustannan falyastanna biman qad mat. If we are to follow anyone's footsteps, follow the people who have already experienced death. فَإِنَّ الْحَيِّ لَا تُؤْمَنُ عَلَيْهِ الْفِتْنَةِ. Because the living, the people who we're trying to follow and imitate, the living are not free from falling into fitna. The living have the potential to fall into fitna. So this hadith exerts us that who are those generations? Who is that generation who have already experienced death? And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, or in this saying, it is mentioning and encouraging us to follow in their footsteps. They are أولئك أصحاب محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. They are the Sahaba radiallahu anhum. We know the entire generation of Sahaba radiallahu anhum have already experienced death. And they are a beautiful group, a beautiful batch of individuals that we should be following. Why? كانوا أفضل هذه الأمة. They were the best of this ummah. أبرها قلوبا وأعمقها علما وأقلها تكلفا. They were such simple, beautiful human beings to have walked the face of this earth. They avoided unnecessary formalities. Their hearts were pure. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose them to be the companions of His beloved Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. اختارهم الله لصحبة نبيه ولإقامة دينه. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose the Sahaba radiallahu anhum to erect and spread this deen. You and I are most definitely indebted to the Sahaba radiallahu anhum and their efforts. They left the comfort of their motherland to spread the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So again, we go back to what we started this reminder with, and that is, if we follow the current day majority, if we follow the current crowd and the current trend, it will really push us towards misguidance. The blind leading and the blind following. And we just went over a hadith regarding taking advantage of 5 things before 5, because we know it's the beginning of the year. 13 days have already passed since we welcomed in the new year. The world has welcomed in the new year. So just some reminders for us to recalibrate, refocus. A few more days we still have to witness the wonderful month of Ramadan, probably plus minus 2 months. So as we wait for that beautiful month, let us prepare ourselves and recalibrate our navigational tools for the year, taking advantage of these 5 things before experiencing the other 5. And if we are to follow anyone, follow the Sahaba radiallahu anhum. They are such a generation that even if we chose one of them from amongst the group of Sahaba, we know the numbers always thrown around, 120,000, 124,000 Sahaba radiallahu anhum. Very beautiful compilations are available to us either in the form of entire encyclopedias regarding the lives of the Sahaba, or we can just pick up a simple life on the Khulafa al-Rashideen, Azwaj al-Mutahharat, the Ashara al-Mubashara. The list goes on and on. Free yourself from the anxieties and the troubles of the modern day masses, and allow yourself to live 2023 with a little less stress and anxiety. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us that tawfiq. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the opportunity to follow in the footsteps of the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, to follow the Sunnah of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and that we meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a condition that our Rabb subhanahu wa ta'ala is pleased with us. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillah.
Assalamu alaikum. Can you move forward, brothers? We have standing people.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah. Hayya 'alas salah. Hayya 'alas salah. Hayya 'alal falah. Hayya 'alal falah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La
الحمد لله نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. ويا أيها الناس وحدوا الله فإن التوحيد رأس الطاعات، واتقوا الله فإن التقوى ملاك الحسنات، وعليكم بالسنة فإن السنة تهدي إلى الطاعة، ومن أطاع الله ورسوله فقد رشد واهتدى. وإياكم والبدعة فإن البدعة تهدي إلى المعصية، ومن يعص الله ورسوله فقد ضل وغوى. وعليكم بالصدق فإن الصدق ينجي والكذب يهلك، وعليكم بالإحسان فإن الله يحب المحسنين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. قل هل يستوي الذين يعلمون والذين لا يعلمون إنما يتذكر أولو الألباب. بارك الله لنا ولكم في القرآن العظيم ونفعنا وإياكم بالآيات والذكر الحكيم. إنه تعالى جواد كريم ملك بر رؤوف رحيم. الحمد لله نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين، اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين، اللهم انصر إخواننا في كل مكان. اللهم ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. عباد الله رحمكم الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. فاذكروني أذكركم واشكروا لي ولا تكفرون.